This is a place.
This is the place?
This is a place. We want to talk about. This is a place.
Thank you for listening to This is a Place podcast. My name is Brandon.
My name is Nate.
We want to wish everyone happy Day of the Dude.
Dave the Dude.
Day of the Dude. What do you think that means, Nate?
It means like seize the day.
No, it does not.
Or there's a dude named Dave.
No. Who is the dude, Nate? Come on. The dude.
I know the dude. Is his name Dave?
No, the dude.
That dude. I thought you said Dave.
No.
Like David.
Day of the
What?
dude.
Oh, Day of the Dude. Okay. I thought you said David Dude Day. I was like, Day of the Dude. Can't you say Happy the Dude Day?
No, it says Day of the Dude.
Day of the Dude.
It means on this day in 1998, The Big Lebowski was released. So we have a day to commemorate that release, March 6th.
The Dude. And apparently, if you can find that same sweater out in the thrift stores, it's worth a lot of money.
Oh, yeah?
I've just seen a few. I watch reels and videos of resellers that go to thrift stores and sell stuff on eBay and stuff like that. And there's been a few people to find the Dude sweater. And it sells for a little bit of money. People still want to buy it.
The other movie we can celebrate today is Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure, because it is today is also Day of the Alamo.
If only we could go see the basement of the Alamo.
Only we could see it.
They should dig a basement into the Alamo and have his bike down there.
That probably wouldn't, ruin the historical significance of it at all either.
Pee Wee Herman's no historical. I mean, that's why people go there right now, is to.
I'm going to be honest, I have no idea what the Alamo is.
Mexicans forces were victorious in recapturing the fort, and nearly all of the roughly 200 Texan defenders, including frontiersman David Crockett, died. Ooh, David Crockett died during that.
What does it all mean?
The Battle of the Alamo.
It's just one of those things. It's been so long, and now I'm just too scared to ask what it means.
Yeah, that's why I love Nate Bargatze, because when he talks about stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, I'm the same boat. I probably learned it. I knew it. I don't remember it anymore. Well, let's get off this subject.
Oh, I see what you did there. It is fitting, though. We've talked about 2 movies already. Why not a third? Today is the day you've all been waiting for. We teased it earlier on. Now it's finally come. Nate has watched the first Harry Potter movie. So this is the first episode in our 8-episode series of Nate watching the Harry Potter movies. Live reaction. A couple hours
Live?
later. A couple days later.
Couple days later. Took me 2 sittings to get through it. I think 2. So actually, just like 2 or 3 days ago, Light FM 100 on their Facebook page says, name a movie everybody's seen that you haven't. And that normally comes down to me saying I've never seen Harry Potter, and people gasp. Like, even when I went to jury duty and they said, name something unique about you, and I said, I've never seen the Harry Potter movies, everybody looked at me like, whoa. And then the people selecting the jury is like, we need that guy. Anyways, okay.
He doesn't know anything about asking.
But I couldn't respond. I couldn't respond to that Light FM 100 post anymore because I had literally just finished watching the first Harry Potter.
How did you feel?
Movie.
Just having that taken away from you.
I felt here's what it felt like. Here's what it felt like. I took Humanities 101 in my senior year in high school, and we could get extra credit for watching a few of these movies, these old classic movies. And one of them, I'm a huge Neil Diamond fan. Huge. I love Neil Diamond. I thought I'd watch The Jazz Singer. It was torture watching The Jazz Singer. It was so boring. And I'm like, oh, I'm doing this for extra credit. That's what I felt like watching Harry Potter, because I'm doing this as an assignment, not because I want to. But my daughter's super excited. She even wanted, after we finish, is it called The Sorcerer's Stone? The first one?
Yeah, good job. Look at you.
All right. Yeah. So we watched, and then she wanted to go on to the second one. I go, time out. We got to talk about this one first because I'm sure I'll confuse the two of them if we watch them back to back. So, whew, how many more do I have to go, movie
Seven,
wise?
seven more. Because this
Seven
the
more.
last one split up in two movies.
Okay, and hopefully, so Brandon and I went to when we went to the Indian restaurant a few weeks ago. I think it's when I first started watching the first half of Harry Potter, like the night before. And I looked at Brandon and I said, Brandon, please tell me these get better. And what did you say? I don't know what to tell you, man, because I really like the first one. I'm like, oh boy, I hope they get better. I hope they get better. But I've got questions, and I kept pausing the movie because I watched it with my wife and my daughter, who are really into Harry Potter. And I even went to Harry Potter Land in Universal Studios a year and a half ago because my daughter watched all the Harry Potter movies and really wanted to go there. And I don't know if my boys have seen Harry Potter, if they cared all too much. So it was kind of cool to like see like, oh wow, actually they did a really good job for
Yeah.
Universal making it look like Harry Potter Land or whatever the places from Harry Potter. But anyways, so I raised my hand a lot, quite a bit during the filming and paused it and asked questions because it was just I had questions. I wish I would have remembered all the questions I had, but I feel like we've talked like about this before, but Harry Potter, okay, let's back this up. Here's my analogy. We go to Amish country, people that have never seen movies before, right? And we get them to volunteer a couple people to come watch two movies. The first movie they're going to watch is Star Wars, the original Star Wars, A New Hope.
Okay.
The second movie they're going to watch is Harry Potter, The Sorcerer's Stone. What are the Amish people going to think when they watch those two movies? That all movies are the same, are they not?
The hero's journey, right?
Yeah, it's the same hero's journey though, where you got a
It's the
kid
same formula.
who's taken in by his aunt and uncle and nobody, and then some old man comes and takes him away to teach him the ways of the Force or of some other power. Um, there's a best friend that he meets. The best friend has romantic interest in this girl that they're both friends with. There's a dark side and some dark power that wants him to join the dark side in both movies. They both end up in a trash compactor, right? Like when I got to that scene in Harry Potter when I don't know what it was, like they had to relax. That
Yeah.
was how they got out of it. Where in the Star Wars one they didn't have to relax. C-3PO. So I was joking the whole time, going, "Where's C-3PO? Where could he be?" Like it was like a complete knockoff of that. I didn't realize because I was watching on. I don't know what I was watching it on. I think I own it. Well, we have it on Vudu. But I kept pausing it, and I'm like, "Oh, this movie feels like it should be ending soon, but it still has says we have like 1 hour left." But the reason why is because I guess after the movie, it has a bunch of commentary about the movie, which I did
Okay.
not watch. I'm like, "Oh, I watched the movie. I did my job. I'm not gonna watch
I'm
the
not doing
behind the
extra credit.
scenes." But I had no idea until I was watching the credits. Do you know who's the composer for Harry Potter?
It's the same guy that does the Star Wars
Same guy,
music.
as Star Wars. It's
It's
John Williams. I was like,
John Williams, yeah.
John Williams. So I was like, say what? So that's why I'm saying if you had two Amish people or people who've never seen movies before, they'd be like, okay,
The
every movie
music's the
is
same
obviously the
too.
same. It's almost the same thing too. So it's a direct knockoff. And then the other tie-in to Star Wars for me is I always confuse Emma Stone and Natalie Portman. I confuse them a lot because I feel,
Emma
no, you don't see
Watson.
that one?
Emma Watson, first of all, not Emma Stone.
Oh, did I say Stone?
Yeah,
Sorry, Emma
but
Watson.
I don't see the similarity at all.
You don't?
Uh,
They're both girls. They're both white. They both
they're
they're
both
both in
not from
Star
the
Wars movies.
US.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, Natalie Portman's from Israel and Emma Watson's from England, so they're both not
Yeah, so they're both
US
not from
citizens,
America,
not from
not from
America.
here,
Same
not from
thing.
here. Okay, but going back to Emma Watson though, and I brought this up at our lunch. I think she did a really good job in the Harry Potter movies. She was a great actress. I
You've
think she
in the
was
first Harry Potter movie.
horrible.
You haven't seen the others.
I haven't seen the one, so yeah, we're just talking about this one specifically. So I was like, oh, she is a good actress because the only other movie I think I've seen of hers is Beauty and the Beast, and I thought she did not do a great job. I felt like she was very monotone, if that's a correct description, during Beauty and the Beast. So I didn't think she was that great of an actress. And I thought maybe she just got the part because of her whole being involved in Harry Potter and having that name. But then I was like, oh, she did a really good job, I thought, as a child. So I didn't know you can get worse at acting over time, or she had a bad director for Beauty and the Beast.
What did you think of the movie? Do we need to? How do we go about this? Do we go through the movie, the plot? What?
I don't
How do
know
we
how we
tackle
attack
this?
this.
What was your thoughts and feelings? You've already expressed not your favorite movie in the world. That's apparent. But what's your initial reaction to the movie?
I don't get it. I think that's the best way to say it. Like I don't like some movies you can be like, okay, I see how people get into this and that, but I don't get it. But then again, I have a really hard time with like fantasy. I mean, obviously like Marvel movies isn't real, but at the same time, it could almost be. I don't know how to explain it. Like I struggled. I struggled with comic books and comic book movies until probably 2001-ish when I mean the first X-Men movie that came out, you're like, okay, I had my wife when we started dating, she had when X-Men 2 came out while we were dating, and she had to explain to me like a bunch of the X-Men and all that stuff because I didn't know who these characters were. I mean, I knew the big ones like Wolverine and stuff like that, but I didn't know all these other people because everyone was like speculating which X-Men would be in the movie. So those were tough for me to grasp because it's like so fake and not realistic. But I feel like they've done a really good job with the comic book movies over the last 20 plus years. Starting with the X-Men was good. That one you're like, okay, that was good. Got me into it. But the first Spider-Man with Toby Keith, he wasn't Toby Keith.
Rest in peace.
So Toby Maguire's Spider-Man, like I kind of like went just because my friends were going, and then I saw it. I'm like, I really like this. But that one could happen, bit by a spider. Who knows? So it's more realistic, more down to earth, even though it's not. But like the whole fantasy with
I
and
get you
Star Wars
though.
is the only
It's
like
a
Star
different
Trek, I
vibe.
cannot stand. I cannot stand Star Trek. And I'm sorry for any Trekkies out there. As a kid, my mom took us to one of the Star Trek movies, and I think I pulled my hoodie over my head just because I was like so bored. And then she finally just took us out of the movie because she's like, "Oh, you're not even paying attention." I'm like, "Nope, don't get it. Don't get it." Star Wars for some reason, even though it is, I guess maybe because the fact they say it's a long time ago and in a galaxy far, far away, it's like, okay, I don't know, my mind, and it's,
And you grew
I
up
don't
with
know.
it, you know.
And I grew up with it, but I enjoyed the Star Wars. But even then, I feel like the last 10 years or so, Star Wars has gotten a little bit too sci-fi and gone down the route that's not as appealing to me. Like
I think a way
they're
to sum up is you don't like things that are typically in like nerd culture. You're not a video game guy. You're not a comic
I
book
used to be
fantasy
a video game
movie.
guy. I just don't like complications. I don't want to be
You
complicated.
like it simple. You like
I
comedy.
like it simple.
You like
Comedy
sappy
straightforward. I like
romance.
sappy romance. What do they call that? What's the romance? The rom-com? Yeah, not really. I enjoy movies. I wasn't really, to be honest with you, I wasn't really into just seeing movies, watching a lot of movies until I met my wife.
Mhm. And
Like I
she
didn't go to
is.
movie theaters very often. She's really into like she loves stories. She just loves stories. She loves reading books. She loves movies. So she kind of got me into it. So here we are. But the Harry Potter ones, I think I mentioned this before, but people who are just listening for the first time, we used to, when the Harry Potter movies were coming out back in the day, me and my old business partner, we would rent out usually the Gateway one, Gateway Megaplex, because they would let us rent it out and show the movie. Sometimes like it felt almost like a week, like 4 or 5 days. Like it wasn't like the day before. Like it was like a few days before the movie was released, and do like a client appreciation event.
Yeah.
And we even had what's her name? I brought us up before. Marie Osmond showed up in one of our events. We're like, come on, Marie Osmond, you probably have connections. You can see this on your own. You don't need to come to our
Take up a spot.
pre-screening. But if it were like a week later, there's no way she would have shown up, right? But she wanted to see it before it came out.
Yeah.
So we would do before the movie, we'd have like a microphone and tell everybody thanks for coming, blah blah blah. We'd have a few prize giveaways, and then we would start the movie. And I would leave my wife, just leave her. I left her. I'd leave her there, and then I would leave. I'd go and either go do something else or go home, and then she would just come home later because I was like, I can't do it. I can't sit through these movies. And plus, I thought, I'd give up my ticket to somebody else who really wants to see it because
Yeah.
it was a hot ticket back then. So, and I think one time I did win tickets to one of the other Harry Potters. It was like later on, like the fifth one or something. And I did go with my wife to watch it, and I think I fell asleep because I was like, I have no idea what's going on. So over the years, I've seen bits and pieces of Harry Potter, but this is the first time where I sat down and watched it, even though we got pretty far into the first Harry Potter, and I totally zoned out. And I'm like, crap, I have to go back and rewatch what just happened. So I think I grasp the concept of what's going on.
You get the basic
Um,
characters, you
I get the
understand what's
basic
going on.
characters. I just don't understand why Harry Potter, who's technically what would you consider that like equal to a freshman at Hogwarts?
He's like what, 12?
Yeah. Is that the earliest you can start your training? So
Yeah.
really I mean, not saying like age wise, but
No, no, no.
he's the
He's
newbie.
11. You're 11 when you go. Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
So he's his first year freshman, if you want to make that analogy or whatever. So he's the new kid and his friends are the new kids, right? Why did they feel it to take it upon themselves to save the world when they're just the new kids there and get into all this trouble trying to solve all these mysteries? Like, what makes them Scooby-Doo and having to try to figure everything out? That one, I was like, that's weird that there's no like older kids in on trying to solve all, and how do they know about all these mysteries that they need to solve? Just interesting,
Yeah.
interesting point.
I think
None
it
of
all
the
ties back to Harry. He's kind of this cursed kid. He's kind of involved in it because of who he is and what happened to him as a child. So,
okay.
and his friends just get dragged into it. And luckily they have Hermione, who's the smart one, and Ron, who's the comic relief.
Is he the what do you call it? Han Solo. Jeez.
Han Solo. It starts out, right? It's years prior that you're seeing at the beginning. The big white wizard, the Gandalf character. Oh,
Gandalf
I'm
is right.
sorry. Dumbledore, not Gandalf. But hey, and there's another correlation. Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Star Wars, they're all the same thing. So
Right.
Gandalf starts with him. He's dropping the baby off to, like you said, to his aunt and uncle. His parents have been killed. We don't know a lot about what happened, but they've been killed, and he's having to live with his aunt and uncle. Any thoughts on that? Any questions?
I found it strange that the aunt and uncle really hate Harry. They I don't know if
Don't they
hate's the
explain
right word,
why?
but
Don't they?
I think so. A little bit how it was it her,
Her
the
the
aunt's
aunt's
sister
sister.
is Harry Potter's mom,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't like how she was all involved with whatever she was involved with.
I think ultimately she was jealous because
Oh
her
yeah,
sister was chosen as a witch and she wasn't. So her sister got to be special, and she's just this plain Jane, you know. But I mean, you do learn a little bit more about them as the movies go on, as the books or movies go on.
that's what my wife said. So
But
she
yeah,
says
good
you'll learn more.
question.
I'm like, okay.
So moving into it,
So that's different.
he lives under the
That's different than Star
stairs.
Wars.
He has his birthday. It's pretty close to his cousin's birthday, but his cousin has a birthday before. He gets all this stuff, and Harry gets nothing. Right?
He's never had a present
His
before.
cousin's the absolute scum of the earth,
Just
complaining
a
about not getting
bratty
enough
brat.
presents because he got more last year than this year. And then they go to the zoo. So I mean, there's in the book, there's a lot more, and I probably won't talk about this a lot because I don't remember the books as well. But there's a lot more build up in the book of him and his dynamic with his family, his aunt and uncle and cousin. So it's pretty quick in this in the movie format. So they go to the zoo, and then he That's his first time realizing he has some sort of power when he talks to the snake, right? And then makes the glass disappear, and then his cousin falls in and is stuck inside while the snake escapes. That's when, about the time he starts getting all the letters inviting him to go to this school, and his family is very adamant he does not get the letters, so much so that they go to some random island to escape that, which I know that was
which
something you were
I don't
confused about.
understand. Yeah, how they got there. Where was this place? Like, and it like looks like it's like a lighthouse type situation where it's probably very dangerous that they could die,
It
but there they
probably
are.
explains in the book. I don't remember.
Okay. Wasn't a big piece of the puzzle or missing piece, I should
Look,
say, but at the same
it's
time it's
probably
like
a misunderstanding on our parts. In the US, we to get away we go camping. In England, to get away they go to lighthouses. That's just how it is.
lighthouse.
They go to weird random islands and lighthouses to camp to rough it. That's how they do it.
This is tangent though, but I saw I don't know if it's true or not, some video or reel where a guy says they'll pay you like $1.2 million to be this lighthouse attendant, don't know where, for the year, but nobody wants to do it because of how dangerous it is, and you have to be isolated, you have to be all by yourself. But he kept saying, "Sign me up."
That does not sound fun. Then Harry meets Hagrid, and you know Hagrid. You've been on his coaster.
Harry Potter Land's awesome. I enjoyed Harry Potter Land. The train wasn't working when we were there,
Oh, too bad.
but some of the cooler roller coasters. Which one's the one with the side cart? Is that his?
Yeah, Hagrid's
Yeah.
motorbike.
Yeah, that's one of like the overall like just the fun roller coaster I've ever been on was that one with the good surprise. That
Yeah,
surprised me. So
it's a good one. I've never been on it, but it looks good. Looks pretty good.
it is good. You gotta try it.
So then Hagrid brings him a cake, his first ever cake, right? He then takes him off and tells him oh, gotta get the line. You're a wizard, Harry. You've heard that line before, right? Prior to seeing the
Sure.
movie.
Sure.
You never heard that line? It's always
I don't
quoted
think
all the
so.
time.
Is it?
One of the most quoted internet Harry Potter lines.
Really?
Yeah. You'll
Why?
hear it now that you know. I'm sure you'll
Okay.
see it.
I'll pay attention.
But anyway, you get the line. He takes him off, gets him all set up, and he's just every step of the way, he's just being surprised because he didn't grow up in the wizard world. So everything he sees is just blowing his mind. Seeing the wands and people with owls, seeing the flying on the motorbike, everything that he's being introduced to is just all new to him. And then he eventually makes it to school, is on the train when he meets his friend Ron, and they meet Hermione. And then we go from there. They make it to the big banquet at Hogwarts. And he has the hat placed on his head and gets sorted into the house that he belongs to. And he kind of fights with the hat, right? Tells him he doesn't want to be in Slytherin because all he knows from it is that it's bad people. Any more questions? Any thoughts?
No, you forgot to talk about Willow though, being wasn't he the guy at the
Oh,
the
at the
key?
bank
Yeah.
at Green Guts.
Is he
Yep.
two characters in Harry Potter
No, but he's in it
or
more.
just the one? Which is another tie to Star Wars, by the way.
You just kind of get scenes of him learning magic and learning the school. He flies on a broomstick. He's really good at it, apparently. So they want to put him in the Super Bowl of wizards, basically.
Yeah, where the his nemesis takes off and he chases him. Or he's still something, right?
He takes his friend, his remember all, his thing that helps him not forget stuff, because he's just kind of
Yeah.
like that.
And it turns out that Harry Potter is a natural at whatever his position is.
A seeker.
And the seeker and the old lady sees him and he thinks he's going to be in trouble. But it turns out she just wanted to, because what did the lady say when she leaves? Like, if anybody flies on the broomsticks, then you'll be dead meat, something like that.
Yeah,
And
verbatim.
then basically, I mean, the rest of the movie. Um, but then the older lady, the vice principal, says,
McGonagall. I'll help you with the names of
You
and
need to
terms.
join. You need to join the team and play the
Quidditch.
sport that Quidditch that nobody understands. Don't know how she came up with this idea. They
That
only
you
play
know.
one game, right? There's only one match during the movie, right? That they show.
I think that's right.
Which is interesting that they make it so they only play one match a school year or
And then that's just something that's left out of the movie. I mean, it's in the books.
oh,
They
is it?
they
Okay.
all compete against each other. The houses compete against each other
That's
to
what I was wondering. Like they just
whoever
showed the one
wins.
match and I'm like, oh, do they only play one game a year and that's why it's so big? Or uh just interesting.
Yeah,
And it's
there's only
weird that
so
they're
much
all
they
the
can put in
same.
it.
It's weird that they're all from the same school, but they're all against each other. They're all competing against each other. That seems weird too.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I
Shouldn't they all
mean,
be on the same team?
well, there's only so many wizard schools.
That's what I was wondering. Is there not another wizard school they can go? Because don't they say
There are
something about
later.
like
There will be
this?
more. There you'll see more. But
Okay,
they're
fair enough. Because they did mention something along the lines of like, oh, this is the top wizard school in the world or something like that, right? Or whatever they say.
yeah,
So it makes you like, oh, there's more than one.
there's more. See, there's just so many questions that will be answered as you go and watch more movies.
Ooh, so excited. Can't wait to get all my
The second one's good. You're gonna like the second one. So yeah, you see Quidditch. Let's see what else we got. They find the three-headed dog. They, as you
So that's
say,
a question that too. Is it really a three-headed dog, or is, I mean, does a dog, I mean, it has three heads, but shouldn't each head have its own brain and own personality and own thoughts, or is it
well,
all
this is like a mythical thing, right? What's it called?
sure?
This is not unique to Harry Potter. It's called a Cerberus, a Greek mythology thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Just curious.
I
What
just
they
know they're
say? Because I want, it's weird how they refer to it
fluffy.
as a singular object or person or pet or animal.
It's just like
When I'm like,
one.
is it not technically three? It's
It's
got
like the
three heads, so isn't
Godhead.
it? Shouldn't okay. You want to go there? Sure, sure.
So then they fight the troll, save the world, right? They take it upon themselves to not like leave it to the adults in the room to take care of the issue. They decided to do it, but they were doing it because they wanted to go save Hermione because she was crying in the bathroom, right? They beat the troll ultimately by sticking, not using actual magic, but by sticking a wand up his nose.
Did they get awarded or they got points taken away and then awarded points, right?
Right. Happens a lot. They're
I
doing
just
something they're
love
not
how
supposed to,
I
but they
love
get
how the
rewarded
makeup
anyway.
like you get 10 points. You get I'm like super
The point
interesting.
system's interesting.
Well, the point system is it individual or per team?
It's per house. So like
So if
they
I
say
mess up
10
then
points to
I take a
Gryffindor. So you get 10 points
but
for your
like
house.
okay, but it's like so if you mess up and you get points taken away, you ruin it for the rest of your team.
Exactly.
So
Or you
they're
help
gonna
the rest of your team if you get points, vice
or you
versa.
help. True. It seemed to go the other way more, the whole
Yes.
getting in
And
trouble.
well, when you're 11-year-old trying to save the world, that tends to happen a lot. Let's see. Harry gets a cloak for Christmas. It was an invisibility cloak that belonged to his father.
Visibility.
And they decide, hey, let's use this to sneak around because they think that Snape, that professor's got something weird going on. They always think he's up to something. They learn about the Sorcerer's Stone. They think that Snape is trying to get past Fluffy because that's where the Sorcerer's Stone is at. Because had he already found it at this point? He ends up
The
finding
Sorcerer's
it.
Stone?
He sneaks around and he finds the mirror
The
actually.
mirror
So it's
first.
the
Yeah. I
mirror
don't think he knew
first.
about this. Yeah, yeah. He didn't know about the Sorcerer's Stone until like after the mirror.
Yeah, so they find the mirror where you see the thing you want the most, and he sees his parents. Ron sees being head boy and winning the Quidditch cup for the school.
And then Gandalf tells him to not look in the mirror because people obsess with it. 'Cause it shows you what your heart desires or something like that.
Yeah, what you most desire, something like that.
You must desire because he thought maybe it was. Well, his friend, Han Solo thought it showed the future.
They make friends with Hagrid, so they get in shenanigans with him. He has the dragon egg, and Malfoy finds out about it, tattles on him, and their punishment for everybody is this is one of the moments of the movie that makes no sense, the book and movie. Your punishment is to go into the forest that is number one forbidden, number two extremely dangerous, and we want you to find out who's killing the unicorns because you apparently are the most equipped to do that.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you're like we said, you're a freshman, you're new here. You should know how to protect yourself.
Yes, that makes
Well,
no
and you got to
sense.
back up. I thought it was kind of a good lesson too on tattletelling is that his nemesis told on him what they did, and
All
then
proud.
she's like, "Oh, minus 50 points for blah blah blah," and then she goes, "And for you," and he's like, "Wait,
Slytherin.
ma'am, there's a mistake. You said me." And she's like, "Yeah, because you were out of your quarters as well, you idiot."
Yeah.
Kind of
You
like,
were
even though it's
also breaking the
noble,
rules.
oh no, noble, you're tattletelling. You still were breaking the rules,
Great impression.
you idiot.
So that's their detention. They see that there is some creature drinking the blood of the unicorns.
Hold on. That's what I thought was funny too, that they're going to detention, but like what detention staying after school, but you're at school 24/7. I don't
Yeah,
get.
that they have to do something that
Shouldn't
at
you call it a
least
punishment?
put your life in peril so you'll think about breaking the rules
I
again.
just found it interesting they called it detention. I'm like, well, don't you stay there no matter like you don't get to go home. You live there.
Your life is
So
detention.
your whole life right now. Yeah. All right. Carry on.
Yeah, so we see
And
the
this is where we meet Darth Vader.
this is where we meet Sauron. Yeah, we see the blood, you meet the centaurs, and they find out that the blood will keep someone alive, even if they're minutes from death, moments from
Yeah.
death.
That's true. But it
And who's
also,
the hooded figure is, I'm sure you can assume, Voldemort.
oh yeah, that's a name you don't say though, right?
He who must not be named. We haven't even talked about Voldemort. So he's the one that killed Harry's parents and gave him the scar on his head, right?
But
We
he
figured
tried to kill Harry, but he
tried to
couldn't.
kill Harry. Yeah, killed his parents, tried to kill Harry, but his mother's love saved him.
Okay.
Aw.
You just ruined the whole series. Thanks, Brandon.
That's said.
I don't
Isn't that said
know.
in the
Probably.
movie?
I probably.
All right, well, spoiler. That's what saves him.
I'm just
His mom
kidding.
sacrificed herself to save him. So anyway, then we find out they want to tell Dumbledore about the stone, but he already knows. But she says, "Don't worry, it's safe." They're like, "No, it's not safe." But she's like, "Well, Dumbledore's gone," and they're like, "Crap, he's the only one that's powerful enough to stop Voldemort." So funny. There's tons of adults here that can handle these situations. Like your point's
Right.
valid. Why are they going and saving the world? They're just
When
special
you
like
got
that.
people with experience that could help them,
Yes. So then they're like,
we gotta
well,
take
we're
matters
gonna
into our
have
own hands.
we're gonna have to take it into our own hands. We're gonna have to go find this stone so Snape doesn't give it and doesn't obtain it and then give it to Voldemort. So they put on the cloak, find out how they're gonna do that.
Well, they
And
find out that the three-headed dog will fall asleep to music.
yep. But when they get there, it's
Yeah.
already sleeping because Snape's already
So
been
okay,
there.
somebody's already there. Snape's there.
It's got a harp.
Snape, no snaping.
The harp stops, it stops being enchanted the moment they're gonna drop down in the trap door and they get almost get attacked by the dog. And then they fall in
Yeah,
the trash compactor, as you mentioned.
trash compactor. Right.
It's just some
We
kind
got to
of
back up.
enchanted plant.
My favorite is that Obi-Wan always says, "Oh crap, I should have told you that."
Is Obi-Wan, he's
Right?
Hagrid? Is that who you're
Yeah, right. He's
okay?
Obi-Wan, right? He's the old man who comes and takes Luke Skywalker away,
Is
Harry
he
Potter.
Obi-Wan or is he or
He's Obi-Wan.
is Dumbledore Obi-Wan? Who's Dumbledore?
That's a good. Dumbledore is a Yoda.
That makes sense.
So yeah, I just love how he always like, "Oh crap, I shouldn't have told you that."
He does that a lot.
Apparently he does it throughout the rest of the movies too, is what my
Oh yeah, he
daughter
does.
let me know.
He's notorious for it.
Anyways, so yeah, he's the one that informed them about the dog sleeping. They're like, "Oh, cool, we just gotta play music," and the dog falls asleep. And then they fall down the trash compactor. Well, number one, Harry was going to go down by himself, right?
Right.
And then he's like, I'll send for you. And then the dog wakes up, so they all fall down the trash compactor. C3PO saves them by telling them to
You don't see him, but he's
relax.
there. He tells them to
He's
relax.
there in spirit.
They fall through, and then they get to the chess match. Now tell me, you have to have heard the audio from this scene. Like I've seen it and heard it so many times, people making fun of it.
What is the audio?
The let's find it.
Once I make my move, then you're free to check the king. No. Ron, no! What is it? Going to sacrifice himself. No, you can't. There must be another way. Do you want to stop Snape from getting that stone or not? Harry, it's you that has to go on. I know it. Not me, not Hermione, you.
That's when they're playing chess, when they realize that Ron's gonna sacrifice himself so Harry can move on, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's gonna sacrifice himself. So they remove all the
But but
music and everything from it. It just
all he
sounds
does is
funny.
his horse breaks up and he falls off the horse.
But he
But don't worry, he still
Hermione
gets 50 points. Wait,
Hermione
good game of
attends to
chess.
Ron. Harry is free to move on, and he gets there, and he finds the mirror. And who does he find? Not Snape. He finds Quirrell. Quirrell,
I don't know.
Quabbity Ashewance.
Hibbity hobbity.
He finds Quirrell and attempt to steal the stone. Realizing that Snape was trying to protect him from harm all along, Harry confronts Quirrell and survives a second encounter with Lord Voldemort, who has possessed Quirrell and appears as a ghastly face on the back of Quirrell's head. Quirrell crumbles when he touches Harry's skin, and Harry passes out because of his close proximity to Lord Voldemort. And this is after, so he looks in the mirror, and the thing he desires most is to have the stone in that moment. So then the stone drops in his pocket, but he gives himself the stone.
Yeah. So he can control the mirror that the mirror gives him the stone. I was a little confused by
It's
that.
just magic, man. It's just magic.
Just magic. Don't worry about it.
The way the stone was stored in the castle was by the person who was had true intentions to grab it, had to look in the mirror and then get it. That's just how it works. Just
Okay.
magic, man. Just magic.
Let's let it be.
So he kills Quirrell basically, and Voldemort kind of blows into smoke and disappears off to somewhere. Who, we'll probably never hear from him again. He's probably gone. Then Harry wakes up. He's in the hospital wing. This is where Dumbledore then reveals that Harry's mom died to protect him as an infant. So I didn't spoil anything. That was just the end of the movie when they announced it. Her
Okay.
pure, loving sacrifice provides Harry with an ancient magical protection from Voldemort's lethal spells and also prevents Voldemort from touching Harry without suffering terribly. Dumbledore says that the Sorcerer's Stone has been destroyed to prevent future attempts by Voldemort to steal it. Finally, at the end of the year feast, the house points totals are given. Gryffindor is in last place. However, Dumbledore gives
Yeah.
a few
Yeah.
last minute additions, granting points to Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Neville for their bravery and service towards the school, so that Gryffindor wins the House Cup. Harry returns to the Dursleys for the summer, happy to finally have a real home in Hogwarts. And that's the movie. It's the first movie.
So basically they awarded them for disobeying rules
They saved the school.
and not going and talking to an adult about
I
some
think
big
this
problems.
I think these movies and books gave me a complex like, what if I'm special? What if I'm like Harry Potter and I need to disobey? Wonder how many
Yeah.
kids it gives that thought to.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I got to go do this because it's for the better good of the school.
The parents,
Uh,
the adults don't know anything. I know better.
right. There you go.
So takeaways, Nate. Is there anything you found redeeming in this movie? Anything you enjoyed about it? Did it get you excited about magic at all? And the things you're gonna see in the
No,
coming movies?
no. I just really, really hope it like picks up and gets
It
better,
in
which
my
I'm assuming it
opinion,
will.
so we showed my daughter, my 4-year-old daughter, parts of the movie. We wouldn't show her the super scary stuff, but we did want her to see it because she's talked about Harry Potter and is interested in it. I will not let her watch anything past the third movie until she's much older because it gets a lot darker. So I think when that happens, I think you'll be a little more interested. I still think the second movie does get a little more of the dark stuff. Third movie a little bit, but when it gets to the fourth movie, that's when it really starts to get like
So
evil and it just the shows and the story takes a turn.
did she like write the first book and then like release it and then go, wow, this is really popular, and then write a second book? Or does she already have like a bunch of books in mind when she started publishing her books?
I don't know the
Do you
timeline
know
of
the
it.
answer?
I don't.
So I remember that too being a big thing. Like when she released the book, like people waiting of overnight at Walmart to get a copy or wherever. And then they started making the movies. But even then, wasn't she still writing the books while the movies were being made?
Maybe like the last couple ones were near like when she wrote the last ones, it was already there was movies coming out, but I can't remember. Yeah, no, I think the movies were out before all the books were released. So I remember hearing interviews and them talking about how they'd read the new book and be like, "Oh, that's exciting. We're gonna have to do this part in the movie or whatever." You know what I mean?
Right.
But you're really you're still not bought in yet. It's gonna take a couple more movies, huh?
Yeah. I'm not very hopeful to be like, it will be nice though to understand what people are talking about, even though I feel like I don't really need to know. And maybe next time we go to Harry Potter Land, I'll enjoy it more or maybe understand it more. I still enjoyed it. I still liked it a lot. Aren't they making another park with more Harry Potter stuff in Orlando? Because they're making a fourth park, but it's gonna have more Harry Potter, right?
Have Harry Potter, Mario, How to Train Your Dragon, Monsters, Universal Monsters, that is. Yeah, I've never been to any of the parks that have Harry Potter. That's one of the things that I think will eventually get me there because my wife is a big Harry Potter fan. And so I think she really wants to go and check it out, see all the stuff firsthand.
I will say this though, even though it's basically Star Wars all over again, I feel like there's more girls on the Harry Potter train, no pun intended, compared to like I feel like wouldn't you say that like more guys are inclined to like Star Wars and than a girl would be, but a lot
I
of
can
girls are
see
really into
that.
Harry Potter.
But I mean, I
Like
really like Harry
I
Potter.
feel like a lot of the big fans of Harry Potter that I know of are usually girls that more obsess with it than anyways, that's my opinion that girls like Harry Potter more, guys like Star Wars more, but they can both like both if they want to.
Nate, you're just trying to convince yourself not to like it. Just embrace it. Just fall in love with the
I want to.
movies, the
I want
story.
to be like, oh yeah, let's watch it. It's so good.
I think you'll
I'm just
get
glad. Maybe I'm not glad. Maybe I do want to wait a year in between each movies, but I guess if you really did get into it, you don't have to wait a year in between.
the first movie it's really establishing the story. I do think as you get into more of the action, I think it'll get better for you.
I think so. I hope so. I'm hoping and praying that that's the case.
I'm excited. Our listeners are all on the edge of their seat to hear your take on the second movie when we discuss it. Again, this has nothing to do with Utah. I don't think we can even fabricate a tie to Utah
Oh,
with
it sure
these,
it does. I bet you the biggest fan base of Harry Potter is here in Utah.
which is so funny because shouldn't Utah be like anti witchcraft and wizardry?
Maybe
But we
not.
love it. We eat it up. It's our
We
favorite
love it.
thing. Back in the days when the books first came out, there were lots of like Christian groups trying to ban them, saying, "Oh, these are evil books and stuff." But here in Utah,
Really?
we're like, yeah, because it's like witches and wizards. It's like magic. It's dark. I mean, it's definitely not painted in that light. Like you see the witches in this movie, it's not like your other Hollywood movie witches. It's a very different take on it. And so, yeah, Christian groups were losing their minds over it. But here in Utah,
Huh.
we're like, we love Harry Potter. This is good. This is okay by us.
When was the first, was it 2000 or 2001 that the first book
I
was
think
released?
so. Yeah.
I just remember coming home from my mission and like at a Halloween party with my cousins and friend or my cousins. at my mom's house. One of my, I guess he was my cousin or second cousin, was dressed up like Harry Potter, and I'm like, what is that? Like, what is he? I don't get it. And everyone kind of looked at me like, what? I'm like, it's a book? Like, people are. So it was interesting that Halloween to see everybody's interpretation of what Harry Potter looked like.
I dressed up as Malfoy because I had the blonde hair. I'd slick back my hair like him. So,
There you
well, more to come on our Harry Potter series. Think we're looking at about one a month, Nate. You still committed to that?
go. But yeah, man, I think I can handle that. It gives me another month to watch the second one. Hopefully I can do it. Well, I guess two sittings isn't bad, but hopefully I can do it in just one sitting. It will keep my attention.
Yeah, no rhyme or reason of when we have these come out. It's just as Nate sees fit to watch the movies. So
Yeah. I
as
think the
it,
plan is right now, once a month, one episode a month, I think we'll be fine.
yeah, you can do it. Thanks for listening to This Is a Place podcast.
And this was a dumb movie we just talked about.
By the end, you're going to say, this was my favorite movie we just talked about.
So I
My life
gotta
has
apologize.
changed. I regret everything.
Harry Potter.
I take it back.